God would have had to create this whole world as you see it. It's what is perfect. Look at the sky. The sky is like a movie of no pillars. Right? Let's look at me and you. You have you're aware like 7 times a minute. They're out of control. Right? Let's look at the blink. Humankind cannot create something as simple as to keep the seat of the blink. And your eyelids work as a shield. Right? So if someone puts an energy, you're going to close it. Without your control. And that means there is a creator that is controlling this whole world. There's something that's controlling us, right? But now we have to think to ourselves, that means if a creator created this whole world, that means there has to be a purpose. So let's think to ourselves, okay, do you believe in the hereafter?
I do, yeah.
So you believe in heaven and hell?
Yeah.
Okay, then beautiful, man. Think to yourself, how do you believe that you go there? What do you come from a religious background?
Yeah, I'm actually Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic. I did, go Sunday school, but now I don't even go to church. I don't even go to church. Like my partner will go.
Okay, then that's beautiful because as a Catholic said, I am coming to convey the message of Islam.
Yeah.
And you will find that Muslims, that the ones that practice the message of Islam, that they have a lot of similarities with Catholics, Christians, stuff
sure.
like that.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's only one creator, and that this creator always brought down a message, and this has always been the same message, right? See, basically you believe in heaven and hellfire, right?
Yeah.
And you believe in the creator, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you believe in, and that means as a Christian you believe in the messengers, right?
Yeah.
Such as Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus.
Yeah.
And see, this is where it stops, right? See, Muslims believe in the last messenger, and that's Muhammad, right? And as well, guess what? We believe Jesus is a prophet as well.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
Do you believe Jesus is a prophet, or?
Well, all I believe is that he's
Your-
the son of God.
Yeah,
so
that's your belief
That's my
system.
belief, yeah.
Okay.
But with every I have Muslim friends and
Yeah.
other things. So I just always thought that we believe all in the same God, but we just preach in a different way. So that's my believing to it. So
Okay, then basically, then we have to think to us. Okay, so let's look back at all these prophets, right? All these messengers. Okay, so then, so that means let's think of it. Let's think of it in a sense, all right? So if God has sent them down and He has created this whole life for a purpose, right? So if we must go to heaven and hellfire, right? See, the only way we could possibly get to heaven or hellfire, if you think of it, is by obeying God, right? Obeying the message, and obeying God, right? And guess what this is like? It's like a relationship. You're forming a relationship with the Lord in order to enter paradise. That is exactly the Islamic belief. That the purpose of life is forming a relationship between you and your Lord in order to enter paradise. Okay? So now we have to think to ourselves, how do we know what message is the truth? So Christianity says God, Son of God, God, whatever. Islam says Prophet of God. How do we know what it is? Say Christianity says Jesus was crucified on the cross. Islam says no, Jesus was raised up. Because every man is basically is for his held accountable for his own sin. That's according to Islam. And at every time, if we do something wrong, we must repent to our Lord. Right? How do we know it's the truth? What if I can tell you, I can prove to you in a couple of minutes?
if you can prove,
What if I was to tell you, I can prove to you in a couple of minutes?
go on.
Okay. Well then, see let's look at the last prophet Muhammad that we believe in. We believe that he came with the last message because he was the last prophet, and this message is bringing the same message as all these other prophets, right? Believing in one God, doing good deeds by God in order to enter paradise, right? Well, this Quran, the last message, basically, how we know this is by God is, let's look at it. Something by God has to have some sort of miracle, right? Something that no man is able to produce, right? But that's exactly the Quran. See, the Quran, it is a message that it's something that in its time no man could have produced, right? How? Okay, let's look at it. So you agreed something by God has to have some type of miracle, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Like in a way, yeah, but
Like what I mean by miracle is that means something that comes down and you know this has to be by God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that happens and you know that this has to be by God because no one else could have done this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Quran has this because the Quran has scientific modern day miracles such as, see, science just discovered that me and you start off in the womb of the mother's stomach as a fetus. We start off as a leech, right?
Yeah.
And we cling to the womb of the mother's stomach and we suck the nutrition and all to grow. This is what the man named Keith Moore figured out. He's a massive embryology scientist, right? He figured that just recent years using the best of microscopes, right? Basically, he then, after making this discovery, looked into the Quran, right? He went and looked into the Quran and then surprisingly found it in there. And this book is 1,400 years. So after reading it, guess what he said to himself? And guess what?
From the dead, so Christianity is
Guess
true.
what he came out?
Piss off, bro.
Guess what he came out? Guess what he came out and said? He said, this is the literal word of God. Because he knew a man 1,400 years ago could not produce this. Right, look what it says here. It says here in the Quran, in the Arabic language, recite in the Arabic language first, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Read in the name of your Lord. And then, خلق الإنسان من علق. Alaq means he has created man from alaq. Alaq means three things: suspended thing, blood clot, and a leech. You think to yourself, even as it says here, created man from a clot of blood. But they have not said the word leech or suspended thing here. But even if we let's look at just the word blood clot, that's what embryology has discovered recently. And guess what? They just figured that out in the years of 1865. Yeah, this book was revealed 1,400 years ago. So then you have to think to yourself, how could a man knew this 1,400 years ago? And you even got one of the top scientists saying this is a literal word of God. And then you even got science that hasn't been able to disprove this book. So if science has not been able to disprove this book, and you've got scientists that are saying this is the literal word of God, what does that mean? But guess what? That's not the only miracle. I'll show you more. See, a man of the name of Jacques Gustave, he was an oceanologist basically. What his job was, diving under the sea and stuff like that. And he found out that there's a part in the sea where it's salt water and fresh sweet water. And basically, they meet each other, right? They both meet, but they don't mix. So if you were to grab water, put it together, it's gonna mix. But these don't mix. So he looked and he found that there is like a visible barrier in between, and that this is stopping them from mixing. Right? Look what it says here. Get it for you.
Yeah, I helped a Muslim guy out yesterday that in front of Westmead Hospital. He must have been, his car died out in front of the road for like 3 hours and no one stopped for him, bro. So I pulled over and I got his car going and everything.
That's very nice of you.
It pisses me off. Bro. A lot of hypocrites, you know what I mean?
See here, it says here. Look, watch this. Read that out.
35?
20.
Between them there's a barrier.
Right, sorry? Stop right here.
Oh, sorry. He has set the two oceans in motion, converging together.
Meaning going into mating with each other.
Yep.
Right?
Between them is a barrier which they do not overrun. Which of your Lord's wonders would be denied?
Would you deny?
Would you deny?
So he's giving you something that Jacques Christophe just discovered. So Jacques Christophe comes out and says exactly what it says here. There's a barrier in between the two oceans, and it stops them from mixing with each other. So then the Muslims say to him, what are you talking about? We already knew this 1,400 years ago, as it says here. And guess what? He became a Muslim too. So then you have to think to yourself, okay, this is stating what scientists are just figuring out, and scientists who see this are accepting it. And then you have to think to yourself, this must be something massive. Because I'll tell you why, because if they discover something like this using all the technology, a man 1,400 years ago, you said it without no technology, then it's impossible to be by him. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do.
So do you agree that a man 1,400 years ago could have known this?
Yeah.
Okay, then basically, so that means you're saying that the creator must have thought of it, right?
Sorry?
That means you're saying I'm the only person that could have
It's
produced.
the creator. Yeah.
Okay. And see, and how do I even know, just to give you that more firm assurance that this is a message of God. So what I love about this message of God is that it's so perfect in the sense that, watch here, in the first couple of pages when you first start to read this book, God says here in the first couple of verses, verse 23, chapter 2, verses 23, read that. Like imagine you just open this book up, you open up to read if this is the word of God, and then it says this here.
If you are in doubt about the revelation, we have sent down to our servant and produced a single chapter and call upon your helpers besides God if you are truthful.
You know, watch this.
But if you cannot do it, and you can never do it, then guard yourselves against the fire whose fuel is.
You understand? So basically it's saying, if you are in doubt about this book, right, get a chapter like it. It's a challenge. Guess what? Man has not been able to complete this challenge in 1,400 years. So then you have to think to yourself, if this is a challenge by a man 1,400 years ago who was illiterate, he couldn't even write, right? Someone would have produced something surely a few years later. But yet one man cannot do it. And guess what? The miracle about it is that God says in the Quran that you will never be able to do it. A man can't do it. That is what they call here a Guinness World Record.
Now I'm thinking.
See, now you have to think to yourself, a man 1,400 years ago gave scientific miracles, telling us that to produce a chapter like it, yet we can't produce a chapter like it. Do you want another here? Watch this. Another challenge. Okay.
So what do you guys just bro, I'd like to leave my number with you if you guys have anything going.
Sorry?
If you do any community stuff or anything, I wouldn't mind.
No worries.
What sort of thing you have in mind?
Just like a, like a community, like you guys all get together as groups.
Oh, yeah.
I literally don't have friends, or I've lost everyone that I had in my life except for my parents and my immediate family.
See, the thing that you'll find about Islam is it's beautiful in the sense of brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right? And Islam is the sense that you will never find in that other religion, because Islam is, and that other message, because Islam, as you say, like, do you have doubt in this book that's by God? Like right now, yourself?
No, I don't.
Okay then.
Like with pretty much of anyone's like religion and like whatever they believe in, like I don't ever tarnish it or like I just believe in it, even though I'm not that actual religion. But if that's the book of God for whoever, then I do believe
Guess what? This is a book for all of mankind.
Yeah.
Because the Prophet, peace be upon him, came down. For he says, I have come for all nations.
Yeah.
So guess what? That means this book is for you too.
Yeah.
That means you can follow this book. But all you have to do is believe. And guess what? As this says in this book, that if you believe, you have 100% guaranteed paradise.
Yeah.
100%. And this place is a place of everlasting happiness.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever you want, you get. Right? You get palaces of gold, diamonds, rivers. You take one sip of, you'll never be thirsty again. Even if you were to look at something and desire it, it's cooked straight away, right up in front of you. How good is that, right? So you're guaranteed that 100%. But I guess, so the difference between Islam and Christianity is that we don't know if we're going to hellfire or not.
Yeah.
So think to yourself. So we know we're going to paradise, but we don't know we're going to go first, heaven or paradise. All right.
Yeah.
So then we have to picture yourself. So that means it's in the middle. Both hope and you hate also. It's in the middle of hope and fear, right? So basically, let's think of like that. So middle of hope and fear. That means if we had too much hope, knowing that, okay, if I was to say I'm going to paradise, 100%, I know, what's going to happen? You're going to slack off, you're going to do bad days. It's like going into an exam, and the teacher says before going to the exam you passed.
Yeah.
No matter what, you passed. Are you gonna do the exam?
No.
Alright, and now think to yourself like this. Think to yourself if you know you're going to go to hellfire. Right, if your teacher tells you you failed either way, are you going to do the exam?
No.
So it's exactly the same. But what if you put yourself in the middle and say, I know if I actually try, I'm going to pass.
Then I would, yeah.
So that means it's setting a basic form for you to work hard and to keep going. That's Islam. So not only does it tell you to do good, it implements it in the sense of how for you to do the good. So that means something like that belief system, only a creator would have been able to produce a belief system like that, right?
Yeah.
So if you are happy with this belief system and you feel this is the correct belief system, then you can accept that right now. A simple of a couple of words, and then guess what? You have 100% paradise, and you join the brotherhood of Islam. Would you like to take the words, or?
Yeah, man. You know what? Let's do it. Like,
No worries. Brothers, Muhammad, Hassan, we got it. I want to accept Islam. I want to accept Islam.
I will, bro.
Alright. Basically, you just have to say now is, so okay, lift your index finger. Say Ashhadu
Ashhadu
Allah
Allah
ilaha
ha
illal
ilal
Allah
wa
wa ashhadu
ashhadu
anna
anna
Muhammad
Muhammad
abduhu
abdu
wa rasuluh.
wa rasuluh.
Okay. Wa
Wa
rasuluh.
rasuluh.
Okay. Basically, what you have just testified is that you believe in one God, and that Muhammad, you believe that Muhammad is the last prophet. Okay. So do you accept this? Do you accept this?
Yes, I accept this.
Okay, then you are Muslim.
Thanks,
You're
bro.
doing the right thing.
Thanks, bro.
Allah guided you.
Thanks, bro.
What's your name, bro?
Evan, bro.
Evan. Daniel.
Daniel.
Muhammad, Ahmed.
Muhammad.
Muhammad. You just joined the brotherhood.
Assalamualaikum. Peace be upon you, bro. I'll accept your sincerity for coming in, inshallah.
Amen.
I'm sure the brothers explained to you, like, whatever you've done in the past, clean slate, you're like a baby now, alhamdulillah, you know what I mean? And no one forced you to join the religion? No? So you, from your own free will, yeah?
From my own free will, it's just something I've been looking for a long time. Like,
Allahu Akbar.
yeah, it's just.
So Evan, now that you've accepted this brotherhood, now as a Muslim we have some expectations. God sets us some laws, right? It's called 5 pillars, right? To pray, right? We pray 5 times a day. To basically fast in the time of Ramadan, okay? To give charity, it's only 2.5% of your wealth, and that's only once a year. Okay, and then perform what's called Hajj if you are able to. They have the wealth and everything. And lastly, what you just done was give a testimony of faith. So basically, now that you've believed, you got 100% paradise, right? 100%. But what you have to do is work yourself not to go to hellfire. So now you got to basically, and we will help you on the way. Well, you just gotta basically, keep doing good deeds and stuff to ensure yourself out in space. And now, alhamdulillah, you've accepted our good brotherhood. That inshallah, whatever you need, we're there for you.
No worries, bro. for a class.
Yeah.
of-
I'll give you some.
Guys been here the whole morning? Or?
Yeah, about 10 o'clock.
I guess, you know, he's also new to the. He's a reaver as
Yeah,
well.
I'm like Aussie, right? Like, I found about Islam like 7 years ago. So, you know, I'm pretty much like you.
Yeah.
Actually,
Because I'm pretty lost at the moment.
yeah,
Like,
because I didn't have anything, right? Like, my parents Catholic, right?
Yeah.